Hi, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It's Trademark Tuesday. I'm so excited about this. We are streaming live right now on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Clubhouse. So if you see us on Clubhouse, I know there's a couple people in and out of the Clubhouse room. It's just me. We're streaming live. If you're interested in watching us right now, go to Facebook, check out the Trademark Attorney and Zara's page at Zara Watson Young, and we're on LinkedIn and Instagram. So this is fantastic. Zara, I'm so grateful for you to be here today, and thank you for putting up with my crazy antics and trying to make technology work.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so today on Legal Limelight, we have Zara Watson. Zara Watson Young. She's the founder of Zara Watson Law PLLC. She's a trademark lawyer for business owners, and she is a mom to an adorable little baby. Your Twitter says that your baby is 10 months, but is that old?
Very old, yeah. She's 20 months now.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. It's so exciting. So we're going to get into all things Zara, but just to reset everyone, this is Legal Limelight, where we spotlight super impressive lawyers in the industry who are doing big things. Many of them are on social. So with that, that's why we're streaming live right now on so many different platforms. And I'm super excited that I finally got my mic to work. We are also on Clubhouse, but if you want to check us out live on video, go to Facebook, like I said. I'll periodically be resetting, which is funny because for people in Clubhouse, everyone knows what Reset the Room is. And so it's worth just transitioning into other mediums as well. I think it's a great tool. So Zara, let's get right into it. Tell us a little bit about your background and what made you go to law school in the first place. Did you always want to be a lawyer?
No, I did not always want to be a lawyer. I actually wanted to be a doctor. I guess a very stereotypical story. It was in college, my sophomore year. I was not doing very well. I was taking chemistry, bio, all the science classes, and I was just doing terribly. And I said, okay, what other avenues, career paths can I consider? And my older cousin, Sabrina, she was in law school at the time, and she was like, have you considered law school? And literally, as soon as she said that, I got involved into everything legal related in college. And it was just from the different activities that I was involved in. I was like, wow, like the law is amazing. There's so many different ways I can help people. And I studied for the LSAT, applied to law school, and the rest is history. So.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And what about like family members, friends, relatives, like, did you have great legal support that way, or was this kind of something that you figured out on the road?
Definitely figured out on the road. My cousin that I mentioned, she was in law school, but it's funny, I didn't really reach out to her like for help, and she didn't. It's funny, like looking back, but she didn't really like offer that much support, but it was definitely on me to really reach out to her for that. But yeah, it was definitely felt like a long, lonely road in terms of preparing for the LSAT, not knowing what to do. I'm always very transparent with the LSAT a few times and just figure out my learning style and what worked best for me. So it's definitely a long journey.
That's, it's what I hear about a lot of lawyers. Like they don't have lawyers in the family who've said to them, okay, this is exactly what you do. This is exactly how you apply, exactly how to take a law school exam. And I feel like that's something a lot of lawyers kind of have to figure out as they go. Yeah. So Zara, why Cardozo? What drew you to the school?
Love that it was in New York. I'm in Queens. Grew up in Queens, so it was very close to home, great school, great community. I just felt so welcome there. I went to Binghamton University, and there were a lot of Binghamton University graduates who attended, so I loved that I knew people there. And I got a scholarship. So I was like, oh, great.
Sorry, I'm just readjusting. Okay. So with scholarships.
I'm sorry?
It's
a merit, like academic-based scholarship. It was a long time ago. I never remember the name of it, but yeah, just a merit scholarship.
Okay. What do you have to say about scholarships for I could go on for forever about this because I got one too, and it really
Okay.
it took a lot of work. It wasn't just like apply and hope you get money. Like I had a strategy. So did you have a strategy going in?
It was just given to me. I didn't actually apply for a particular scholarship. When I was accepted, they gave me a scholarship. That's literally what happened. In terms of maintaining it, that was definitely a whole different story. You know, your first year of law school, it's a lot of work. You know, it's the first time that I was in such a competitive environment with people who are so similar to me. Most people are type A, you know, just a very different level of work ethic. So just very different. So just trying to maintain the scholarship, very different experience from college and undergrad where I actually had to apply. I remember literally going to my financial aid office and just applying for every single scholarship under the sun. So different
I love
experience.
that. Yeah, I think it's important to go in trying to get money because these schools have it. I mean, there's absolutely so much money in some of these, whether it's merit-based, need-based, financial need, diversity. There's really money for everyone, and it doesn't matter your background. I really encourage everyone to try and go for it. And what I did, Zara, was I had literally everything set up. Like I had my personal statements, I had people edit them, I had everything like edited and finalized so that the day applications opened, I hit submit. And what that does is it now puts you to the top where they have money. And so as they're picking who they're going to give money to, at least like you're now at the beginning where they have a lot of money. If you apply later towards the end, you may be less likely because they're, you know, slowly whittling down on their financial pool.
Right. Yep. Very good. Great advice for any law students listening. Yeah.
So you lived in Brooklyn, you went to law school in the city. What kind of law piqued your interest? I mean, clearly you're a trademark lawyer now, but did you know you wanted to do IP, and were you specializing in IP in law school?
No, I did not. I wanted to do IP. I actually was very interested in special education law. And I'm sure, as you know, Cardozo has a special ed clinic. And the reason I got into that was because my youngest sister, I'm the oldest of 4 girls, and my youngest sister, she has a mild learning disability, auditory processing disorder. And because of that, she had to go to a special school. The process to get into, for the state to fund a special education school is insane. And also
Wow.
very, very expensive. So going through that experience with my parents, I was like, wow, this is a very rewarding area of law. Let me look more into this. So I literally joined the clinic at Cardozo. I ended up interning for the law firm that represented my parents. So I was doing the externship and the internship, I guess, or I'm sorry, the clinic and the externship at the same time. And I ended up getting an offer after I graduated, and it was rewarding at the time, but as it went on, I was like, wow, this isn't what I want to do. Law firm and the number of cases that we had, it was just insane. So you can imagine working with students experiencing special education issues. It's very time sensitive. Parents it's very emotional. So having a lot of cases, it doesn't really make sense. So it just didn't feel right for me. And that's kind of how I transitioned into looking into IP. And I started to really look within, and I was like, what areas of law, can I see myself practicing? How can I tie the law with my interests? So I've always loved photography, writing, just being very creative. And I was like, and so that's kind of how I transitioned special ed to IP law. Very unconventional, I know.
Oh my gosh, Zara, I absolutely love that. And I kind of have a similar story. I thought I was going to be an immigration lawyer. And I just learned that you could work for an entertainment company or a fashion company and help creatives protect their works. So for me, it was still in line with helping people, but it was a different type of help. And I fell in love with it really quickly. And I think just being at Cardozo, you kind of catch the IP bug because everyone's talking about IP, and it's like in the center of the city that is one of the most creative cities in the world. Right. So I don't blame you for picking. And I just want to check in real quick. I know we have 7 people on Instagram. we're streaming live right now on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Clubhouse. We're doing it all. And just so you know, I made it clear on Clubhouse that this is being recorded. If you hear feedback on any of these platforms, please message us. We're trying to do our best to cover all of our bases, but if one platform isn't working over the other, then we switch gears. But so far, I haven't heard any major complaints, so we can just keep going. Zara, what was your?
So sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. So what internships did you do in law school?
I worked for a law firm on Long Island called Meltzer Lippy. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they do a little bit of everything. They're a mid-sized firm, and while I was there, I did a little bit of corporate law, a lot of trust and estates, just to test it out. Where else did I intern? The clinic that I had the law firm that I had mentioned, and that was pretty much it. Not very many internships.
Zara, we're getting comments that there's some feedback, so I'm just gonna try to move it again. Let's see if this works.
Okay.
If not, also I'm realizing you may just want to totally mute your browser, your desktop, and keep Instagram on. I'm realizing that may help.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
How about this?
Did you mute your You muted, I'm sorry, your desktop?
Can you guys hear me okay? I can't hear you.
I can hear you. Do you hear any feedback?
Weird, I can't hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I can't hear you. I can hear you on my desktop. I'm gonna have to lower the volume.
Yeah, just try it. And if not, we can kick Instagram. Yeah, it's just unfortunate because I know we have like way more people on Instagram, but we're also trying to capture this as a podcast, which I can edit. Well, Cassie said it's better now.
Okay. Thanks, Cassie.
Jacob and thanks guys for sticking with us. Hopefully some people come back in. All right, Jacob and Cassie, let us know if it's not. But now we're back up to 5 on here, Zara.
Okay, great.
So I guess that worked. What did you do? You muted your browser?
No, I muted Instagram. I'm still on, but I can't hear you for whatever the reason on Instagram. I have my desktop sound back on.
Okay. All right. Keep us posted. Anyway, and like part of this is because, we've been doing these lives for a long time now, and Instagram, and I think it's worth it, Zara, to have this conversation because a lot of people are podcasters or like use social media like you in the legal industry. So it kind of helps to crowdsource some of these issues. So you can use platforms like Restream, like we're doing right now, where you could stream on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. There's a couple other platforms, but what's really important about Restream is that it lets you keep the MP4 and the MP3. So that's the video and the audio file. The unfortunate thing though is that Instagram doesn't link to it, which is funny because Facebook owns Instagram. So we try to dual stream, but with the feedback, it's not great. I feel like they're gonna figure this out later on. But the way that I've kind of done the workaround is you really have to mute one or the other. You can't have like your desktop and the phone be streaming. So we're figuring it out. So back to our regularly scheduled programming. Zara, tell us about what made you start your own law firm. Was this your first experience out of law school? And tell us, what was the impetus?
So it was not my first, experience at a law school. I was working for that special education firm for about almost a year. I didn't reach the 1-year mark. And like I said, it just didn't feel right. I wasn't passionate about it. I loved my coworkers, but the actual work itself, I said, this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. I just knew. And what stuck with me was when I was being sworn in for the bar exam, or excuse me, for the bar. I was going to say the bar exam, imagine.
That's all right.
One of the judges basically said, find your niche. Don't give up. You'll know when it feels right. And when I was at that firm, it didn't feel right. And I remember I just had this really bad interaction with the client, and I said, okay, this is it. Like, that was the last straw. I walked to the partner's office, and I told them, I said, look, like, thank you so much for this opportunity, but this really, I'm just not passionate about, the work that I'm doing. That's very, very important to me. I'm so grateful for the opportunity that you've given me. Thank you for helping my family. Because remember, this law firm also helped, my parents and my sister. So he was just so understanding, and he literally, thine own self be true. He said, do what feels right to you. He was like, I'm not going to stop you. Who am I to, to try to imprison you here? We love the work that you're doing, but we respect your decision, etc. So that was the day that I left, and it's just been the best decision. That was back in 2017. And literally several months later, I said, okay, it's either a few weeks later, I was like, it's either I go and work for another law firm or just do what I know that I'm going to end up doing and just start my own thing.
Nice.
And it wasn't in special education. I knew that I wanted to do IP. So I literally read every book. I reached out to as many, other older attorneys as I could. Unfortunately, many of them did not want to help me.
Did not?
So I did not want to help me.
Tell me more.
All of them were like, you're crazy. Like, why are you going to go out on your own?
I hate that.
You graduated. Like, you need to work for XYZ number of years. You don't know what you're doing, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have to figure this out on my own. And I literally did. As I said, I read every book. I found courses in IP. There's actually an attorney, I don't know if you've heard of her, Sonia Blakani.
Yep.
She's phenomenal. So took her courses, and that's it. That was back in 2017. There were not that many lawyers in the virtual space. So even to speak to my other colleagues, they're like, you're gonna have a virtual law firm? Like, what? So,
oh my gosh, now 2021, it's like totally the norm.
Yeah, I don't want to say saturated, but there's so many attorneys now, which is amazing. People see the value in that. They want to do their own thing too, and why not?
I love that, and I hate that whoever you talk to tried to discourage you. It's like if someone were to come to you and say, Zara, I'm about to open up a bakery. I paid $150,000 on the deposit. I'm about to launch. I have employees, and then they tell you this is a bad idea. No, lawyers, people, and students have invested so much time in these degrees. Let them do what they need to do, because the path that you chose may not be the path that someone else should choose and may not be the right path for them. That's why I really don't like when people, even if it's like jokingly, like to say like, don't go to law school. You went to law school. You're a lawyer. How are you telling other people not to go to law school? It's just like, encourage them, encourage people. There's not one path.
You don't want to be that person in anyone's story who was like, oh, like the person makes it, right? And then it's like, oh, like it was that person who didn't, encourage you or said all these negative things. Like, don't be that person. Don't discourage people. You don't know their path. You don't know what they're gonna make of it. So always be careful with that, and be careful with the naysayers. So
yeah. It looks like, Zara, we have a couple people who migrated on the platform, which is kind of funny. So, guys, feel free to comment. We could take questions. We can see all your questions on Facebook and LinkedIn. Also, you can comment on Instagram. And I see a couple of people are on here. Let's just check in and see how the feedback is doing. Taylor, are you on for the Instagram people listening right now? Can you let us know how the feedback's going? I think I was able to mute my phone all the way, which is interesting.
Okay.
Okay. Let's keep it going. All right. So you got past all the naysayers. You decided to continue. Zara, what was it like that first year?
Oh my gosh. It was terrible. I was so a nervous wreck. It was interesting. I was nervous, but so excited at the same time because I was like, okay, like I'm going to market myself this way. I'm going to market myself on Instagram, Facebook. I literally was like, okay, I'm just going to use what I have. Like, I don't know anything about marketing. I'm just going to use social media and just figure it out that way. So it was a lot of literally just getting everything set up, forming my entity, getting my contracts in place for my clients, taking pictures, which was the most fun part, to market myself, and I literally just went for it. I was nervous, but I'm like, I'm just going to figure this out and it's going to work. That was my mindset. I know it's going to work. I just had a gut feeling, as scary as it was.
And Lawyer Britt, right, online?
Yes, yeah.
When she was on my show and we were talking, that was like the one thing that she said. She said that she just wishes that she had the encouragement. Like, she wishes, not the encouragement, she wishes she had the confidence to do this way earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I think if you're going to do it, sometimes you get in your head like, oh, you should go to a law firm. You should learn from under someone. And, if we encourage law graduates to think creatively, get mentors and paid courses like Sonia's, what's the difference?
Right.
And Zara, do you have like a network of lawyers? I already know the answer to this because I'm in your network, but tell us, like, as a solo, how do you replace that gap of, not that gap, how do you replace, not having other people in the firm to run things by? How do you do that?
Great question. In the beginning, that was really challenging because, like I said, there weren't that many lawyers in the online space having a virtual firm. So that was the most challenging part. Now I definitely have a network of people, but it's just, supporting other lawyers, right? Like, that's how we met. I've met so many other attorneys, just supporting and encouraging what they're doing. And through that, I've built relationships. Like, if I see another lawyer, this is like more so when I was first starting out. So like, I would see other attorneys entering the space. I would introduce myself, say, hey, like, what you're doing is amazing. Congratulations. And literally I would just build relationships that way. And this is on Instagram, on Facebook. Friends would send other lawyers who are just starting like their own virtual law firms my way. And I would just literally start a conversation that way. And it just takes off from there. So I've built these little communities, I guess you can call them. And just supporting everyone. Like, I know how it feels to literally just you don't know what you're doing. I mean, now I feel like a lot of attorneys who are entering, or starting their own virtual firms, there's so much more information out there and support. But like, I just remember like not knowing who to speak, who to turn to. And when I did reach out to other attorneys, just being rejected, and I hated that feeling. And I would never want anyone else to feel that way or to feel lost. And,
do you feel like most people rejected you when you tried to start your own?
You said most people?
Do you feel like most people tried to reject you? Like, was it overwhelming majority of people that, not rejected, it's not the right word, like discouraged you from trying to go solo?
Attorneys, yes. Older attorneys, yes. But my friends, family, everyone was very excited. They loved the idea. Okay. And that's how I got my start, and that's how I got referrals. Like, my practice right now, it's primarily referral based, and after that would just be social media. But because I used those platforms, that's how I was able to get people to know what I was doing and how I got so many referrals that way.
I love that. You're right. Like, referrals are so important. And I think that's why you don't write off like other lawyers or even other IP lawyers.
Yeah. You just never know. Never, ever burn a bridge. Like, I'm shocked, like, till this day, like, people that are sending referrals, like people from law school, people who I barely spoke to. You just never know who's going to send a referral your way. And referrals are the best. I'm sure you know this. Literally, when I get a referral, it's like a 2-second phone call. They just want to sign up right away because so-and-so referred me. And because that person referred them, they know that I'm going to do a great job, etc. It makes your life so much easier. So referrals are gold. They're key.
Oh my gosh. And I love that what you said, like, you started with friends and family, and like, I always joke about that the first people in your network are like the people you know.
Yes.
Start reaching out. I post on your personal pages, let people know, just be top of mind. Touch base with them, set up calls with them to see how they're doing. Then you can focus on the second layer of expanding and growing and developing, that you really need to start with the network that you've already built your whole life.
Yep.
So tell us what like a typical day is like. I know you are a mom. I know you're active on social, like and you're running like a busy practice. So tell us like what a typical day is for you.
So sorry. So waking up, getting my daughter ready. My nanny comes at 9 a.m. When she comes, my daughter still fights her. She wants me to stay. So I'll spend like maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes, just, just playing with her, getting her like still. It's crazy. It's been like maybe 8 months now. She still cries before I leave. I'm sure you can relate to that. But yeah, so just playing with her for a little bit. Then I start my work day usually around 10:30. I'll grab my Starbucks, come into my office. As you can see, this office is in my building. So super, super grateful to have this space. And then I will basically check ClickUp. ClickUp is a platform that I use to communicate with my team. I have 2 other team members. So I'll just check my updates or, whatever messages I've gotten for the morning or the day before. Check my emails, social media. I'll check usually around 12. I've become very, very strict with my social media use because you can get, sucked in. It's definitely a distraction. So I usually check it twice a day. So first check-in is at 12 just to see any messages. If I have to post something, I usually try to schedule my post out. So checking in on socials, and then any calls. I have my client calls between 11:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. So any calls. Yes, that's it.
You don't get pushed back.
No, I've set my time.
How have you figured that out? I know that experience.
Over time. Sometimes people will ask me to speak on the weekends. I've gotten like a few like late, if they're like, oh, can you speak, after like work hours, like 6:30, 7. I'll make exceptions. But for the most part, everyone is very understanding about my time, my scheduling. And weekends, I've had one person ask me that, and I know her. So it's very rare. But yeah, I'm very strict with that. It's like, nope, I am not going to speak with you, especially now that I have my daughter, after work hours, after 6, unless it's like, a very special circumstance. But yeah, 11:30 to 2:30. My discovery calls is 3 days a week. Mondays are my CEO days and my team meetings. So we'll have our team meetings at 12, from 12 to 1. If I have any client work that I really have to bang out, like if I have an office action that I have to like respond to, I'm doing an opposition right now. So any like major legal issues, I reserve that for Mondays and Fridays. And of course, like I'll work on it throughout the week, but those are like specific days that I have dedicated. So Mondays are my CEO days, team meeting days. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are my client discovery calls. Friday, it's usually for like anything random. So if someone wants to interview me for a podcast, if I have a like webinar, I've been doing webinars. If I have to prepare for that, my slides, anything that's going to be done on Fridays. Any meetings, Fridays.
Oh my gosh, so I love that.
Over time, that's just what works for me now. And of course, that may change. But as my business has grown, I am becoming even stricter with my time. So it's, it's only me right now. I'm the only attorney. So I have to be very, rigid with my schedule.
Holy crap. You figured it out. And I think by you saying that, if there's people who are struggling with this, try what Zara has done, because I personally I've narrowed it down to where you have something very similar. And it's because emails and calls and all the other things can suck up all of your time. And then it'll be 5 o'clock and you haven't even done your to-do list. Yeah. So for me, I use Calendly, and rather than just have Calendly opened, I block out those key times where it's like legal work time, It's Friday's marketing time. Like I really build out those set days, and I send my links out. And if someone has a problem, they will message me and say, I really want to talk to you. I know you're busy. Can you squeeze me in? And then we figure it out from there. But for the most part, that's Calendly has just been fantastic.
Yeah, I used Calendly in the beginning, and I use Acuity, but now everything is in one system. So I don't know if you've heard of the Dubsado. It's a client management software. They have a scheduler built in. So it's basically Calendly, it's basically Acuity. It's just in there, it's on their platform. So everything is just in one platform, which has been amazing. But yeah, I mean, I get that. I would say to any entrepreneur who is, just starting out, it's okay if you don't have a set schedule yet, right? I've built time, and that's with anything. You have to just literally throw it out there and see what works for you. But then you have to start blocking out time. You have to start, keeping boundaries. Like you have to, because I remember just like, okay, I'm like, okay, I'm going to take lunch from like 1 to 2. And then someone would say, oh, like, can you speak to me at 1 to 2, between 1 to 2 or whatever? And I would break that. So not good.
You stick to your rules, is what you're saying.
Can you see me?
It's probably my internet. I just went wonky.
Okay.
My husband and I are streaming a crazy amount of stuff all on one. And I just haven't had time to call Verizon. Do you have an assistant? Do you have like a personal assistant?
I have a VA, a virtual assistant.
Okay. Tell us more about that.
It's amazing. It's a lifesaver. She helps me with a lot of, I guess, I don't want to call them ancillary things, but anything I don't have the time to do. So like she'll post for me, she'll help me draft blog posts, she'll respond to clients on my behalf. My gosh, what else does she do? We are doing a lot of system updating. So literally like all of my emails, like a lot of my things are already have been systemized. So like they're called canned emails. So she's helping me update everything. I have a contract template shop. I don't know if you've had a chance to see that, but basically
I need to check it out.
Yeah, we've created templates, contract templates for entrepreneurs. So we have so many different industries, but I'm going through a major rebrand right now, and we're updating all the descriptions, and she's helping me with that. So I'm like, okay, here's the content. Please upload that onto WordPress for me. My calendar, if there's a conflict, if I have to, respond to someone, she'll do that for me. So yeah, she's been really, really helpful. And she's also work. Like she'll call the USPTO for me. I'm like, check the status of so-and-so's trademark, and she'll do that.
I love that.
Yeah, it's been a really, really big game changer. I have a paralegal as well, who's been phenomenal.
You really figured out how to run this. I think it's so impressive, and there's just systems in place that you can put. I've realized. I feel like a lot of people just try to figure it out themselves and learn by trial and error. But just by hearing this, Zara, like you're helping so many people. And I just want to make sure the reason why we're using Restream is because we're really going to turn this into, we're going to reuse and repurpose this video. I just want to check in on Instagram because someone said that they're still having problems with the feedback. So I see a couple people on here. Can you guys let us know?
I just moved my phone back a little bit. Maybe that will help with echoing.
Let us know. Yeah, and then we'll edit all of this out for the podcast.
That's actually my biggest tip. Your systems, everything. There are attorneys I see who are posting every single day, doing like they're online all the time, and I'm like,
exactly.
How systems? You got really serving your clients. So don't focus on. Not to say that's a bad thing. Obviously, you want to market, you want to put yourself on, you're trying to serve, but make sure that your back end is set up. Very, very
important. Zara, they said that you're a little bit low. I think, guys, if you still have problems, I would totally encourage everyone to switch to Facebook. I know our Instagram viewers don't want to use Facebook, but it's probably the best at this point. Yeah.
Okay, see. Tina says sound is really good on Facebook. Okay, great.
Yay. Thank you, Tina. Woohoo. Tina is the managing partner, founding partner. We call her founding mama at my firm. She's amazing. And even though I am not on, I'm not a solo, Tina lets me pretty much take the reins and be a pioneer on social media, unlike many, bigger firms. So I'm super excited about that. I'm just going to tell everyone, hey guys, on Instagram to let you know. Oh, Zara. Okay, Zara, you're off on Instagram. I think that's I think it's probably for the best.
Oh, let me go back.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Whatever. It's okay. What I like about these shows is honestly like just don't overthink. I mean, I'm not embarrassed right now. This is technology. We're figuring it out. And I hope that our experience helps everyone's experience too. Trying to figure out how to live stream on different platforms. So, oh my gosh, Andrea wrote, it's so funny. Sarah's gone. I know, Sarah, where did you go? But I'm really excited that we're going to record this and turn this into a podcast because, Zara, I love everything that you're saying about, having, like you said, the systems in place to be functional. Do you, with that, we can get into it, but Clubhouse, what do you like Clubhouse? And I just want to tell everyone in the in Instagram right now, hi Brandy, hey guys, just so you know, we tried to stream on Instagram. It really wasn't working. So I encourage everyone to go on Facebook. You can go to my Facebook page. It's Francesca Witzberg under lawyer. I also have the link in my Instagram post. So you just click on the link there and it's on there. But I'll keep talking on here and you could probably hear Zara. But if you
want me to go back on? Do you want me
to? You can try it. Who cares? We're doing it.
All right, let me just, here we go. Here you are. I joined.
Hi, Brandy. And if you guys have questions from Zara or me, let us know.
Okay, I just sent the request. I hope this is better. Okay, perfect.
Yay, hi guys.
Okay. How about, I hope everyone can hear me. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you asked about Clubhouse. Okay, so I think I have to take a step back. So I made a decision not too long ago to simplify things, to use very few platforms, to stick with one. I still use LinkedIn, I still use Facebook, I use all of them, but like in terms of my primary marketing tool, it's definitely going to be Instagram. So if you invite me on Clubhouse, I'll go, but if you're not going to find me promoting on there really. Instagram is my main one. I also promote again on Facebook, on LinkedIn, but to keep things streamlined and simple, I just stick with one platform. I know a lot of people will not agree with me. Everyone says that you should be on all of them. And I do think when you're first starting out as an entrepreneur, it is good to try everything to just see what sticks with, what your audience is, and what gravitate to you. But for me, just for where I am right now, it's just going to be that platform.
That was me.
I heard an echo. Okay.
That was me. So why haven't you? This is not good. I think we should just kick Instagram.
Okay, I'm gonna sign off. Hopefully.
Check us out on Facebook.
Yeah. Okay. That's that. Also with repurposing, with Clubhouse, correct me if I'm wrong, you can't really repurpose. So I'm going to definitely choose platforms that I can. So of course you can repurpose the content, right? So if you speak up on a subject here, you can always talk about it again on Clubhouse. But what I mean by that is literally, I mean, you're going to tweak things, but like kind of copying and pasting, right? So let's say I post something on Instagram, I can literally just copy that, paste it, tweak it a little bit for LinkedIn, but pretty much paste the same thing onto there. Versus Clubhouse, where it's like, okay, we're talking here, but I have to do a whole nother discussion on Clubhouse. With Restream, it's a little bit different now. This is, I'm guessing, relatively new. Like I haven't really used
It's amazing.
But yeah, I mean, as I'm growing, my plan is to definitely bring on more people. So I'll have the capacity to be on every platform. But because it's just me, I'm, in terms of the legal work, I have to limit my time and what platforms I use. So it's going to be Instagram for me for now.
Yeah, that's why it's like very frustrating for me to figure out, because I did the same thing. I chose Instagram, right? But like, it's still mobile friendly. Like they haven't really integrated with Facebook and the ability to download and extract. I just feel like, I mean, this was an experience to show people like really how hard it is. And they're really different platforms, I think. I barely used Facebook until recently. Honestly, like Tina, I don't know if she's still on here, but like I know she uses Facebook all the time, and she's active in these groups. And for me, I feel like after college, I just shut it down because I was like petrified that like some random video of me, like, I don't know, chugging some drink at a party would like show up professionally. So I just like shut everything down. But now everyone's on there and they make their systems. I mean, look at this. Like, this is super easy now. And it's a shame that it's so hard with Instagram.
It is.
I'll figure it out eventually. But with Instagram, Zara, do you then take any of your content and put it on like LinkedIn or anywhere else? You use LinkedIn.
Yep, I use LinkedIn. I'll repost on Facebook. I use Facebook a lot for ads. The contract template shop that I mentioned, Facebook is wonderful for ads because it's basically the central hub, right? If you just do an ad on Instagram, it's only going to be for Instagram, versus if you do an ad on Facebook, you can also target your Instagram audience. So Facebook is great for that. And also it's great to drive traffic to your website. It's right. If you post a link, people will just click on the link and go on there, versus Instagram. It's like, if you don't have 10,000 followers, you have to tell everyone to go, the link is in my bio. So, it's a little bit different. Each platform has their thing, but I definitely use Facebook. And yeah, I hope I answered your question.
No, you did. I love that. Do you know Rob Hanna?
No.
You definitely need to follow him. He runs a UK recruitment firm, but he's like just a personality. He's fantastic. He's really good at connecting people in the legal industry. He's all over Clubhouse. He's on social. He has a podcast. And the reason why I mentioned him is because he was the one who told me to start using LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. And here I am saying how step one is use your network. Mm-hmm. I'm like, why am I not using LinkedIn? And again, it was like kind of this like fear of why I didn't want to mix what I'm doing on Instagram and TikTok and LinkedIn. Like, I was just nervous that these are former clients, these are former bosses. I didn't want them to get, think I'm not professional. And then I just started realizing how this is the way that the legal industry is going in. This is legal marketing, in the 21st century in 2021. So I totally have embraced it. I need to do more on there. And right now I'm playing around a lot with Clubhouse because I'm seeing a lot from that. But tell us a little bit about how you use LinkedIn. Like, what type of content are you posting?
Great question. So it's definitely more so my blog posts. With blog posts, I feel like I'm getting into like all the little details, but with blog posts, very, very important to build organic traffic. So LinkedIn is a great way for that. You just post your blog post. I'll share that, and I've gotten a lot of referrals that way. How else? I'll post some Instagram content. It just depends on what it is. If it's educational, definitely I'll have my VA just repost it on LinkedIn for me. Definitely educational content, because it's my other colleagues' for the most part. So I want them, to see, okay, like, oh, like Zara's posting about, trademark law. I can, send her some referrals. So that's been very helpful too. If I get any awards, any media mentions, I'll post that as well.
How do you post them?
How?
I want to know. Like, you get an award. What do you write?
And just say, I'm so honored. Very simple. For example, I was nominated for Super Lawyers, so I'll just say, I'm so honored to have been selected, by Super Lawyers, and I'll just, depends on what it is. I think I actually took a screenshot of like the email that I received, and I just posted it on there. So, and with a little caption.
I'm gonna give you something to test.
Okay.
Check to see how many people liked your post about your award. For the next award you get, I don't want you to say, I'm pleased to announce, or I'm so honored to have been received. I want you to start with like a short anecdote on like looking back in 2014, the thought of advising my first client was such a big deal. And here I am today, I'm advising X amount of clients, and I was just awarded New York Super Lawyers, this year. Try that, because I've been seeing it. There's people who do it really well, and make it like this kind of like story and how you led up to it, instead of just, I'm pleased to announce, or I'm honored, because people are totally going to throw you likes because they're proud of you. But there's also a lot of people who are like, oh, another one of these. Why?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. You definitely always want to mix in story when you can, because again, capacity. So like if it's me, if I have like a few minutes, I'll just say that. And I agree with you 100%. Definitely tying in story. That's how I built my practice, sharing my story. So I agree with you. Always share your story. And I'll definitely do that. It's a good reminder.
I want you to try it and let me know, and we'll have you back on and see if you see difference in numbers. It doesn't have to be long. It can just be like even a couple sentences before it, and then say like, all this led up to this. I'm just so excited, like super happy. I've found that those posts end up they reach more people too.
I agree.
And so you just said something that reminded me of story building, right? So we're trademark lawyers. We understand the power of branding, and we know that brands are stories. They really, you're conveying a message to your consumers that has to do with heritage and culture and vibes. Like, these are all things that go into branding. It's not just trademarks. So we as people, as personal brands, it's the same. And I would just love to know if you have done this exercise where you have concretely articulated and crafted your story. Have you actually sat down or you didn't sit down and write, you thought about it? And I know you're smiling, so I'm excited to hear what you have to say, but tell us, did you really condense and articulate and craft your story?
Yeah, great question. Many times I've had to do over the years several exercises. They're called like finding who your ideal client is, and you need to know your story. You need to know, who your ideal client is, all that. So yeah, I've had to write my story many, many times. I actually have it on my website right now. I share the story of when I left my law firm, what the partner told me, the whole to thine himself be true, how I felt, how scary it was, like, starting out on my own and not having the support that I wanted. So yeah, I've had to do it many times, and I'm actually working with a copywriter. Whoever doesn't know what a copywriter is, basically a person who's crafting your story, your messaging. And I'm working with her right now. So I have to do that again recently, just writing out my story. So yeah, it's very, very important. Knowing where you started, knowing why you're doing what you're doing, who you're serving. So very important.
I love that. Yeah, I found that like if you don't have it, a lot of law students don't even think about this, right? They just think, oh, I need a job. Yeah. And then that energy comes out when you have calls with them. I've literally, like, when law students start talking to me on the phone, I literally sometimes I'm like, please, just let's go back. Go back. Who are you? Why did you go to law school, and what do you want to do? Like, what's your passions? Why law? And let's start there instead of, it's just so much easier said than done. Like, Zara, you and I were both there, and like the stress and anxiety of not having a job is just, it's heavy. But I really try to get law students to flip the switch, and instead of thinking, well, I need this person to hire me, or this person to give me the name of someone who's going to hire me, just go out and share your story and connect with people, because that now, by having that connection, you're already immediately top of mind if someone's looking for a job. But you need to connect with these people so that they know who you are. They can build a relationship with you and know what you're interested in. So then really it's not just any job, if it's the job or like a job that you're interested in, then you'll be top of mind.
I agree 100%.
Do you take a lot of law student calls? Do you do mentoring?
I don't take a lot, only because, again, just the time.
A lot.
Yeah, so I do them on Fridays, and it's usually like once a month. But I do make it a point to have, and it's just really now, before I take on a lot more. But yeah, I mean, again, I just remember how I felt and how I felt like I didn't have support, so I never want to be that person. Which is something I actually am working on, creating resources for law students just down the line. But yeah, I do my best to take calls and emails. Emails are always better for me. But yeah, it is something that's very important to me, trying to help.
Yeah, mentoring, giving back. I mean, these conversations are even going to be super helpful. All right, so I cannot believe it. We're almost up at the top of the hour, Zara. I would love to ask you just, what podcast are you listening to? Share what you're listening to right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you heard of Rachel Rogers?
No.
You should definitely check her out. She is a Cardozo graduate. She also started her own law firm. My goodness, I think it was like 2014. So she was one of the first like pioneers to do like the whole virtual law thing. She started a group or a membership called We Should All Be Millionaires. And she basically teaches you how to start a business, how to grow your business, whatever it is, to 7 figures. She's phenomenal, and she is a proud Cardozo Law graduate. So she's one of my favorite podcasts to listen to. Who else? To be honest, hers is definitely the only one right now. Highly recommend.
Okay, and I'm going to share that with everyone. And Zara, I guess we can end with, what advice do you have for I'm going to even ask this more specifically. What advice do you have for law students who are graduating, either their first job out or no job, who are thinking about going into private practice as a solo?
I would say 2 things. Trust your gut. And secondly, you'll find your niche, basically. Like, you're going to know when it feels right to you, and don't give up. Like, don't give up practicing law because you hate the current, field that you're in. If you still are passionate about practicing law, try another area. Don't be afraid. It's never too late. Even if you've been doing, real estate law for 5-10 years, yeah, it's not going to be an easy transition. But if you know in your heart that you're supposed to do another area of law, go for it. Listen to yourself and just keep going. You have to have a very, very strong sense of self. Know who you are. Know that you are destined for greatness, and that's how I feel about myself. So you guys can do it.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love this conversation. I could talk to you for a very long time, Zara. Thank you so much. This was fantastic. Where can everyone find you?
All of my platforms, well, except Facebook, at Zara Watson Law. I'm very active on Instagram. If you want to email me, it's zara@zarawatsonlaw.com. And yeah, Instagram, DM me, follow me. Happy to chat.
Amazing. Well, thank you everyone who stuck with us.
Yes.
And Zara, it was good to see you, and have a good rest of your day.
You too. Thanks again for having me.